Yeah.
All right, we'll start now. First advantage, the Extinique card. Not sure how to pronounce it. It's a card that says polarization from AI misinformation causes war. In the card, it says that public spheres can be hacked now. What does the app do to solve that?
The card isolates that the risk of hacking, i.e. like through disinformation, only the app can solve for the impacts to hacking, disinformation, misinformation through quality use.
Wait, I'm confused. How does the app solve hacking?
Well, we haven't isolated hacking as the main internal link to disinformation, but we still
your
solve.
card does, so I'm asking how you solve that.
Like, I mean, that's not the only internal link we have
Well, it's
to
not the one you
misinformation.
highlighted, but I'm asking how do you solve that?
Yeah, we solve the impact to hacking, which is collapse of news sources.
Wait, so you solve the impact to hacking, but you don't solve hacking itself?
I mean, like, hacking is not the main internal link we've isolated, but we still solve the impact to hacking.
That card also says that the U.S., ununderlined, unhighlighted, and the EU must solve for international democracy.
Yeah.
Things like great power competition, rise of political polarization and liberalism, adverse impact of social media.
Sure.
It lists these as three major conflicts for democracy. How does the app solve any of them?
Okay, so the first EU-US cooperation, look at the Lynch card. It says that specifically U.S. legislation towards generative AI is critical to spill over globally to set a standard for generative artificial intelligence.
Right, but your card lists three other major conflicts that have nothing to do with Gen AI.
Okay, the other two conflicts, social media, the app solves the terminals to that, misinformation from data poisoning. Also, lack of trust is the internal link, which I don't know how to pronounce it either.
What about great power competition and polarization and liberalism? What about those?
We probably solve polarization as well. Great power competition is solved through democratic stability.
And you think that solely creating licensing for generative AI solves great power competition?
Yes.
How? I know you said the Lynch card says that, but where?
It funds journalist sources, which empowers small businesses to...
In the U.S., correct?
And it sets a standard.
The card says international illiberalism. How's the app?
Lynch 24 specifically says that it sets a global model. You can
a global model for what?
For copyright.
For licensing towards generative artificial intelligence.
Okay, so you think copyright is the root cause of power competition?
Look at the second to last card. The Lynch evidence says that the U.S. should set a global standard, a precedent through generative AI by licensing to solve global instability.
Yeah, that card also doesn't talk about democracy, but that's fine. I guess
okay, but the other two internal links talk about democracy.
I don't think it does. Okay, the Rich 20 card, Truth Decay, says that truth decay is active. People actively distrust institutions in the status quo. Why isn't your impact happen?
Yeah, people actively distrust institutions because of disinformation.
So when's the brink? Like, when does the impact happen? It's been 4 years.
I mean, like, we're seeing those impacts now.
Oh, so the impacts happen. Okay.
Okay, how many off? I need to know.
I think it's 6. Yeah.
Oh.
Jimmy,
that's like a sleeping.
What? I'm just opening the dock and setting my stuff, you know. I don't know.
Okay.
Cheating.
I respect that.
I actually don't like what you did to T.
I don't know. I think it's okay.
Let me get some.
I have some clothes as well if you want those. Yeah.
6, advantage 1, advantage 2.
Correct.
Wait, give me 1 second to set that. Okay, there we go. I am ready.
Okay. For anyone else flowing, 6 off, journalism, model collapse.
Wait, journalism and model class. I got close reverse order. Feel free to get started.
Yeah, I get that.
Yep. First off, the C sub does it means throughout that words and phrases 8 violation of only protects a specific part of copyrights for it, allowing the app to cooperate with minuscule parts of each of the 3 topics, allows exponentially multiplies the number of topical apps and makes equality never impossible because the app isn't a sync for the status quo. Next, it states like the plain text specifies the federal branch that carries out the plan they didn't. That's key to agent guidelines disable links to show if when you content has to reject the app. Next is advantage to kind of plan. The United States federal government should increase app security on the public sphere, increases cooperation with the United Democratic League, create with the nations that meet objective criteria for democratic governments in order to create global democratic norms to cooperate over AI, require Gen AI companies decide which sources the information their AI produces comes from. This is to create 10 specific courts for copyright violations from Gen A companies, mandate the creation of agencies to check all the information that goes into generative AI ensures human created, and Plank 1 and 2 solves democracy. This is also an all causes for why the Afghans solve their advantage. Inserted for reference, that's the etching card. Plank 1 solves social media, Simpson in 2021. Online sources generate democratic harm, cycle transfer, creating information, asymmetry, regulations, great essential to hands on links, regulations, critical of establish democratic rights, to rate online sources are possible. Plank 2 solves better than Plan Laws 20. Now the current state is sphere of influence, but current level is ill-equipped because the Irish and shifting global power shifts that necessary to consider democracy to establish legitimate civil fear. Plank 3 solves it to show in need for anybody ensuring misinformation is created to an organization. Plank 4 solves big tech from delaying cases, insert a lynch for reference, and Plank 4 solves 5 solves monocloud check for synthetic data and data sets that's Wong 24 inserted for reference. On the cap game. Expansion of hyper-optimized capitalist accumulation to across 16. Essential incorporating capitalism laws for control of knowledge and collision facility, publication, communication, security, knowledge-based resource capitalism requires mechanism externally and internationally to facilitate control information as the basis of the capitalist exchange. Capitalism depends on air surveillance, information, investment, finance, capitalist business, knowledge-based resource religion, capital and wealth. Capitalism causes militarism, nuclear war, and environmental destruction, extinction, and all in Germany 23. The existential threat has grown now stumble because of comment of the nuclear capitalism fuels the common change, militarism, avoid profit, internal growth, expanding markets, producing commodities, and concentration by among at least many years. The wars fight this year will protect the U.S. The right to climate change and for friendly wars. Common driven and world mortals and services crisis and military is monster corporate reduces the fossil fuel industries and initially from capitalism, AU's interest is on oil, fat, fuel, water. The alternative is a class-based movement towards socialism. Plus 19 socialism moves from the fields nearer and by the ends monopoly financialization undermining global society and ecology. A class-based movement towards socialism, economic development, and social technology, long-term planning, quality, solidarity, and sustainability. It's not physical and puzzle flags, so plus accordingly squatter is not sure as technology knows multiple means, and only diffusion, humanity, interaction, no internal, but this requires a logic handle it. Capitalism. Next off, federal courts backlogs are now fed. New studies that show dockets are clear and litigations. Federal courts are down. Remit 22. Pandemic backlogs offset by 29% in the economy. Interesting defendants and 6% for civil cases. Courts effectively clear the dockets despite delays. District courts return to their pre-pandemic levels of like a backlog case being resolved. The plan clogs the court with the trend of litigation man taken out. 24 GI complex copyright law. Copyright litigation expenses in a long career litigation most artists would have done a plea against multiple GI developers. Imagine how difficult they work in each GI model into each company developers a great technology workarounds for focus on artists litigation of all big AO well facing in court. The BA has considerable resources. Dogger overlord presents effective resolution communication that decks enforcement and economic policies to reduce climate change. Carlin and 21 will reports and help the environment and rights of nature judicial plays an essential role to climate change litigants. Courts of the enforcement and environmental courts who serve as guardian like environmental context climate litigation on the state for those climate litigation and controversy important roles in shaping the role on climate change. Warming causing extinction negative 19 climate causing extinction due to non-linear cascading effects multi applicable thresholds and points as causes sea level rise melting increase warming and carbon releases methane producing warming next is next off the United States Federal Government should designate the International Trade Commission the exclusive authority and enforce protection of copyrighted material for training and output of a commercial and generative artificial intelligence. The kind solves as ITT but become a socialized IPR division reduces costs and the length of IP disputes aligns trade for policy and resolves public discontent. So 19. IC provision unique specialized perspective is publicated the federal court is how rectangle area of IP specialized judges and more proficient reduce the cousin like Japan special division agreed staff specialized property right division USPDO and specialized courts house and make courting more effective decisions with based on international trade regulation. IDC puts a policy chain law by the part of the law landscape allies regional and influenced by policy driven public percolate providing this decision and decrease in vision public policy one in nuances. ITC has an expertise in engaged trade but spread knowledge about practices as utilized in determination remedies and ITC's Republican hearings. Countries courts are now called the requirement to consider IT the foreign policy president authorities if you don't check on 3 years based on if foreign relation makes the ITC say a better position to make policy compared to courts and under extra purview the two ITC incorporating more policy consideration decision because the add to important public interest consideration ITC is a litigation of any protection incentives for innovation. Trade wars going nuclear harm 18 the protection sentiments rises to do war the link is take for granted complexity of modern friends makes new organ depend on one upon comparison von Berlin Germany's aggression police Germany's being the secrets as the Michael market funding expectation means more and more attractive similar capitalism emerging trade wars the place the greatest ways to work actions against violent multi-convention awakening the economy centralized and that raises the risk of miscalculated escalation and that CS occurring elsewhere on case on the journalism advantage. One case of internationally US AI seniors can't spill over to no democracy impact chip 21. Democratic peace is the characterized by law. At the same time, it is a plus to democracy, making no looking at variables where even the two are not coming may be unreasonable generating indigenous relation may each turn probably no student probably be judged by a plan to have having taken account of democracy does not have a passive impact and find shows democracy is more likely to attack than non. 3. Democracy does not solve war. Schedule 22. Democracy turns per like guard interview that goes influence international system cannot international anarchy conditions by for the states of work all this domestic constitution each state social security all states to integrate direction to causality is below state which are secure can afford to free societies as to simple democracies for natural will spend those jobs dubious democratization handiwork can be seen at or can still be without considering location in the states of all for democracy impact DPT's wrong piece causes democracy no not the other way around skill T22 democracy has been able to say democracy but Russian China now being based ability polygon theoretically empirically and they would not be tried to find reduce skill and security as nuclear brother much plan to make it possible for Europe to take democracy only state to which are secure apples good democratization and domestic difficulty to the lack of Western constitution Iraq having tail Libya Syria and other countries DPT is lazy provides an explanation of that consideration allegation hidden lines of competence goes and investigation of the costs of trial spread democracy 5 democracy because of the war legitimization cost girls self sue 18 more made more possible has been raised for those Vietnam Council as against the LGTB it's similarly supported by the empirical evidence of these of the theory which culture whether from policy it could justify invasion democracy could bring out power lawyer method power could legitimize the mechanism motivation encourage aggressive policy no oxygen democracy for no war democracy assume because non-democracy do not free consent they are necessarily aggressive like the choice and disrespect by societies against each other determine the nature of the relations between women and non-liberal society creates hostility without exacerbating intervention 6 to use the case nevertheless web polarization education and other avenues 7A doesn't across misinformation to the case someone else to make a text and image looks more reliable conflict without making accessible even to generate increases in the upload of misinformation people not to most people consume content with mainstream sources increasing mostly content with large invisible public news sources increasing misinformation without be 20 to 100 times larger than that about outcome to the favorite misinformation on the model collapse advantage. Well, no model collapse, the original change that will equal models coming 24A models collapse inevitable. The problem is the change data significant in the way they made those is actually done. While opinion studies worrying about the doing scenario of research of license and assumption that it's to generate training exclusively in the sending of data, mark the card of synthetic data. 2. The playing cause of the worst AI models may take a 24 license, incentivize the substitution of most applicant data require playing license would incentivize developers to cut costs, substitute the quality data for the sources for result in garbage out. Strong copyright provisions could incentivize data substitutions away to avoid paying for licensing data sets, mark the card data sets. 3. No data poison impact AI without misinformation cox and Williams one AI can bring the ability to discriminate between real or false and the information whether preventing miscalculating crisis calls for which include levels of way through uncertain information AI can significantly improve consonants AI plays a single role and may reduce the potential operation measures this is preventing future calls or misinformation data 4 AI governance fails the dual nature tag errors misinformation AI is the dual nature technology no matter what we've done to the efforts that we put in the ethical development of AI like technologies dual nature will remain we will never fully succeed. I'm going to finish the Clip 124 card. It did accumulate to model change to try to make sure the rules and data model collapse no occurs the cursor recursion may not be as dire.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. First status.
Conditional.
Can you check blanks?
You can kick sets, not playing.
Sets. Okay. Okay. First, the advantage counter plan.
Yes.
Mandate creation of agencies. Check all information. Does the counter plan create new USOG agencies?
Yeah. So this is referring to specifically what the Wong 24 card says. An approach to separate AI ensures the quality of the feedback. So creating a agency that checks all the generative AI allows for checks model collapse.
Okay. What would that agency do?
What would that agency do? Yeah. So the Wong 24 evidence accounts for human feedback on AI generated content.
Oh, because so humans are just regulate AI. Is that what the plan is? Like create an agency to regulate AI.
Yes.
Okay.
It is ensuring that generative AI is human created.
Plank 3, they should be required to disclose instances. How does
it's citing the sources, not when they do it.
Okay, so how does that solve still copyrighted unlicensed use of copyright?
No, it prevents disinformation because people know that the articles that they're reading are coming from AI and not human sources.
like ChatGPT makes up its own sources sometimes. How does that solve?
Because it's not the ChatGPT disclosing the source; it's the people that created the article with the AI disclosing the source.
Okay, so AI. So this doesn't assume AIs that create its own articles.
No,
it would have to be proving its citations are human related.
Okay.
People who see that their citations are from AI are going to understand that this is disinformation.
Okay, the first plank, increase cybersecurity on the public sphere. What does that look like?
Yeah. This is talking about the Etchlink 23 card. The security talks about like TikTok and Facebook. These social medias have been weaponized by Russia and China.
It's just like a question of social media. It's to solve social media.
Yeah. So your app is only at the US. Your app.
The CapK, do you fee at the all?
Yes.
Okay. The ITC counter plan.
Yes.
Is it merely just like allow it? Does it fiat ITC accepts a plan?
Wait, we are not saying that the counterplan is immediate, but we're saying that the counterplan would solve. You have
The counterplan is not immediate. Do you fiat the ITC passes enforces protection of copyright?
we are designating the ITC the exclusive authority.
Okay, would the who
If
would
you want to
enforce
read
it?
that, they'll say no. Go ahead.
Would the ITC would we enforce the plan?
We're not gonna no link out of any signal offense.
No, are we enforcing the plan
Are
in
you
the United
enforcing?
States?
Wait, the plan is through
If
the
you
United
don't
States.
enforce the plan, then it wouldn't solve. I'm confused.
Okay, does the counterplan? So the counterplan
One
designates
aspect of the
ITC to enforce protection.
The counterplan is competitive in multiple ways. We say should is immediate. We
Should
compete off of
is
that. We
immediate,
say the
okay.
AF is immediate.
You compete off should. Okay. What else do you compete off of?
But yeah, so we are designating a separate sector.
A separate sector, but it would be within the United States, right?
Okay, the ITC would be a
T, A-spec, Cap K, Vantage counterplan, Odyssey counterplan, and the core clock list that.
Could you repeat that one more time?
Journalism, model collapse, topicality, agent specification, capitalism, advantage counterplan, alright. Is anyone not good? Okay, I'll start. Whatever.
Let me see.
I know. Are you ready? I know. Henry and Kenny?
I'm good.
Okay. You good? Yeah, we're good. They drop the media erosion, pneumatic ghosts, nuclear air flux under social media, creates public pressures, and uncertainty intelligence which lead impels leaders. The escalating nuclear conflicts is an external scenario that always all of their offense. What is number one was no international spillover. The lynch evidence is that America sets a global model and countries like Russia, China, and the EU will follow. What is number two was democracy wrong. The email evidence is that the correlation is 47 more times likely than any other theory, and they have not offered an alternative. So that doesn't matter. What is number three was that democracy doesn't solve war. It's 5 times the correlation between smoking and lung cancer. That was the email evidence is that authoritarianism causes extinction, elite bureaucracy, hyper-nationalism, workers, adequate conflict planning, and disaster management, which ensures independence, AI, and nuclear war. The DP wrong stuff was necessary. Now, democracy bad. I'll do that proper. 1, democracy is good. A is history, authoritarian mismanagement has historically caused governance failure. That company's extinction for independence, and nuclear war. That's proper. B is empirics best. Diving to the last of every country validates their thesis that was done above. Second, no transition. A is backlash to tyrants. Are proper to repeat authoritarian bureaucracy instead of its aggression and gross violations of human rights, which ends in war. B is global conflict. AI class ends in Russia and China. Is the vendor extinction. The closest minute. Semi half of the to the majority depending on customs about security with the environment distribution rights. Warming the spender for all implicated in disasters. Refugees for all stuff. What government system? China versus global government system. Regional government system. The political rights. Versus the border versus terrorists. The conflict for the international federation. The enemies below the war with nukes. Democracy solves the war on terror. You're just 70s versus the war for the lowest of the terror requirement party. Hybrid retreats are the most vulnerable against security battle. The research about security avoid now the truth decay collapse inevitable stuff. The app certainly solves by empowering AI and making journalism more accessible, but they dropped the terminal impact. So it definitely outweighs. Go to monoclass. What is it about one was no class? Now I'll extend several warrants for class co-warrants, which is off first that writers will quit, which is that AI will have no choice but to train on itself. Second is that GPT-5 is already training on itself and is causing misread results. And second, do we want to see number two was that plan results in worse models? No, they don't assume the collective bargaining by companies to force the AI companies to adopt the class models, but AI companies will have the incentive to adopt the app because that's the only way that can look good if their AI is ethical. Now, what I see number 3 was no data poisoning. Impact data poisoning certainly causes extinction, is completely integrated in the military and defaced and to say a non-serious adversary source for nuclear escalation. That's the Johnson evidence now. There's several warrants that they assume. 1, social pressure leaders will be pressured to launch nukes even if it is not in the AI itself. And second is that Intel AI will disrupt it because social media is flooded with bots. Now they say that the app fails. No, the responsible AI solves extinction. Bad AI unleashed that would be Valtex, all about good AI solves panic software and refuse that they drop the 1AC124 evidence. That it's a critical breaking point for us. Go to AI development. T. 1 with me, 8 plans in vacuum that's key to objectivity checks, positionality, B, functionally app, affects all the hardware, 2 counter interpretation aimings within, testing 9 aimings within the bounds of. Now, words and phrases is extremely unpredictable. It starts throughout in the context of counties from the 1861 Act. That's inapplicable to law. Now, 3 prefer A, specifically prefer common definitions. It's not a term law or aimed at the card about B, staff ground defense. The whole resolution untenable opens the door to a possible unpredictable, just adds an arbitrary picks. Now, 4 functional limits, copyright key, IP key, element advantage can applies, and econ innovation, just adds 5 usability, erase to the bottom. A spec is non-resolutional and possible to model kills after ground. A permanent arbitrary agent can apply process checks, kind of interpretation, the resolution device. App limits cap. One way the affirmative non-resolution rate is unfair and first class. Second case outweighs the extinction is reversible. And fourth causes any revolution. 3 do both double blind over both link to affairs. That's cool. 4 growth is evolution. There's 3 growth will not run throughout history. Innovation myself. President between one down. Powerful tools to reverse. Activation yield to more by similar competition for the difference on attention goal. Sharing economy to support utility economy to reverse attention. Because I'm just 70 to resist the trouble. 600% the third system wall. Reducing the less economy to refer to not conflict to this planet. 5 reject floating pics and it pisses down fiat and moves the app and zeros. 6 all fails. 8 transition towards opportunity. As I go as another case to you represent Latin America diplomatic war. As relation capital economy. As relation by revolution is about to taxes of peaceful transition. B is empirics data verifies impossible revolution. Impossible advantage counterpart. 1 do the counter plan, 2 do both, 3 do the plan, and any combo, the 1 reserves the right to clarify for half flex. Now, 4 reject counter plans without card insolvency after last running little trip based green lines. Magic 1 solution that circumvents core. Competence kills education, 5 covers ski 8 competition. Copy is the only way to balance the needs of turtles and AI. Company's failure triggers the entire case to competing agents as coffee bees modeling. American legislation copy is necessary to set a time for cooperation with Democratic allies. Otherwise, generating other revision to fuel and cause extinction from misinformation. That's the Lynch evidence. Point 1, it just assault GAR or evidence that AI is the vector for cyber attacks to occur in the first place and exacerbates this information. They obviously don't solve the root cause, but this was so vague. I get new 1 AR answer. Plank 2 doesn't solve. A stood for information to fracture the LD and reduce cohesion or democratic reform impossible. When B backlash from NATO allies and RCA competition for multiple processes and democracy and competition loss content networking on reproduce US over alliance partners solution democratic and policies drive Russian Chinese alliance. Plank 3, 4, and 6 group them. None of them solve the entire thesis advantage is that this information is sophisticated enough that it cannot be fact checked at any time. Only regulating the source of information and empowering journalists to counter disinformation through the outsource. It doesn't solve journalism class either. If companies disclose stories, they won't be required to pay the companies themselves. No on what agency or specification means new 1 AR answers. Now, Plank 5 doesn't solve the litigation and links to the net benefit condo is bad and disco solves excuse the 2AC kills education because we do not get smart answers and they get a fiat out of this ads. A disco solves the only kick will be read a permanent theory. Plank 5 doesn't solve for litigation and it also links to the net benefit. I get new answers. ITC. 1, there's no internal A, no still, or 1 compensation, just all straight B, no impact, IC, risk or to economic growth, and innovation, make encouraging and PG still, abuse litigation, whatever. Then 20, ITC, and also stuff, operating government, the recipe, government, oversee, and get a farm share, and get most of the also, operating ITC, often to make these source, everything, and abuse of litigation, and get international trade, ITC, protocol, consistent ITC, approach, and the shorts, ITC, and race, and sugar, race, that was sort of international trade, looking at shorts, and we're going to do it still, and ITC only, and really to exclusive, and company face on from ITC was against the litigation, just for international trade, and opportunities. No one's also the litigation helps and he is using the ITC to leverage a quick settlement. And now, 2, do the counterplan. The counterplan is the plan blocks and functionally still results in the US doing the plan. 3, counterplan in the app. Should is measure where restricting should refer to the material. Should doesn't refer to constitution. And firstly, population for the not recommendation mandate. Should refer to future right. Or should look at the future. Reasons to look at the possible future event. Just like the counterplan, let's see textually and functional covenant that's best for Germanians. After the political clash, anything else arbitrary and should be rejected. Now, 4 doesn't solve A is certainty. ITC's absence of a robust signal for copy protection creates extensive delete and uncertainty litigation that allows big companies to dodge lawsuits. B is immediacy. ITC or establishing a new IPC requires massive delay that causes entire industries to collapse already. That's the entire thesis of the app. 5 do both the shield and 6 tear through the plan kind of other issues. And send out the text. 4 o'clock. 1 increase copy litigation on pricing. 2 record issues when it's copyright camera. It's not revealed the symbol station on time. No force response to temperature. Of the recorded litigation. And it's not going to be not Germany was it's going to be records making time for first occasion. 2 term copyright suits plus the court now with the app raised legal clarity for self copyright 3. Clarification will be helpful reduce down to 50%. Lawsuit to write 30 seconds. No choice exists law avoid litigation by companies agreements on litigation. 1 guidance. 3 numbers means the courts are either resilient or can't recover. A is COVID for more. How back the worst part is a funny, make it play. It's a little focus for the conflict, and the challenge B is not US courses of the Abbey, religion copyright 25%, 4 no internal courses are compatible with size. 20. Open the case overall. 19 goes over. The prejudice delusion has this issue rules of at the time. No, just in a case consolidation. 5 no impact. AL costs big company lobbying and congressional legislation definitely comes first. And internationally, Russia, China, India doesn't model B. History courts are conservative and won't strike down. Climate litigation C. Those no terminating welcome. These times remain as the high temperatures in what common the 1900 human influence on the cause. Security hardly catastrophe comes suddenly. Refuses that, but the experts predict warming as well. No common concentration for the death. Becoming 99%. Return of the answers to sea level starts the same as lower. She said, remarkably apply marine life and so no have a species of extinction and the dissent is not ensured that the USFG could logically just hire more judges. I'm ready.
Okay.
Oh, the front text was sent out.
Yeah.
Okay. On the advantage kind of plan, what are your warrants for links to net benefit besides just saying it?
Links to net benefit. If your net benefit is democracy bad, obviously the AF is an impact term. But we think that if it solves the AF, it probably also solves democracy because you're using journalism to prevent AIO collapse, which, yeah.
Okay, so your only internal is journalism?
I mean, the entire AF is about journalism protecting democracy. If you protect journalism, you protect democracy.
Okay, for the truth decay internal, does that solve democracy?
Truth decay? We think that truth decay is an independent impact. It's the idea that when people don't know what information exists, they can't cooperate on any existential threats. That might include democracy, but also other things.
Okay, sure. You made the warrant that, like, you can't fact check data. How does the AF solve that?
Our argument is that we eliminate the root cause by giving journalists more money. Therefore, more good information is on the market. We think that this information is getting so sophisticated. Our entire thesis is that fact checking them fails.
Can you name one card that says an increase in journalism provides more, like, a lack of disinformation?
Oh, our evidence is excellent. Multiple pieces of 1AC Lynch evidence specifically specifies that journalism allows for first-hand reporting of crisis in places like Ukraine and Palestine, where things are increasingly escalating, and with multiple small outlets reporting there.
Okay, sure. Does it have to do anything about, like, fake news, like Fox News spreading misinformation like that?
I think that Fox News relies on tools like AI to spread disinformation. The app would choke that down.
Really? Okay.
It's also like a
so Fox News is all its misinformation is based off AI.
It uses AI.
So getting Fox News to fact check its data would solve all misinformation.
It's probably a question of having good content in the network. The alternative is
how is the app creating good content besides just getting more like hack job journalists?
We think that small journalists are uniquely key to democracy. When I see several internal links, particularly Lynch evidence.
Okay, are small journalists using AI right now?
I mean, no. We also think that small journalists are not.
Wait, so then why is the plan key to spur small journalists if they're
because
not
it's about big AI taking away money from small companies. They're stealing the clicks away from small journalists, causing them to collapse.
Okay, sure. On the CapK, your empirics, what is it? It's just saying like Argentina.
Any country that had a GDP higher than Argentina has not faced a workers' revolution. If you think that reform solves, and if there is reform, we get perms.
Okay, reasons to reject the team besides floating picks and Episonic fiat.
Conditionality and solvency applicants.
Okay. On case.
Yeah.
What, it was model collapse. You said AI companies have incentive to adopt the AF by besides just looking good.
We think that while AI is necessary AI must be ethical to be sustainable in the long run, and the only way that
what incentives do AI companies have to be ethical? When you make the whole argument that like
otherwise AI innovation is unsustainable and probably will collapse. Crap.
Yeah.
On the ITC counterplay, can see the permutation. We're not going for condo. On core clock, can see no impact. We're not going for no offense. Cap K. Capitalism causes extinction. One is warming fossil fuels and extraction pushes us past tipping points, resulting in extinction. Two is militarism. Capitalism increases defense spending. Countries fight to extract profit and secure resources, resulting in endless war. That's the handle evidence. Three is AI. Capitalism causes bad existential AI. Dawn 19 AGI improves on intelligence. Become ASI. So successful like humanity goes extinct as a side effect. In fact, a lot of goals. ASI has friendliness, not default property of ASI. Capitalism reward those that faster company push the product on the market before a competitor company. Already investing believes in investment will grow. Monetary will be incredible. Company will not think of friendliness to be the first. It's an asterisk so tall. And all 17 ASI is related to suffering, rest, and agency. Suffered amount of suffering vastly higher than human civilization. Result could be positive emotion, but negative emotion. ASI could end up bringing in different other minds. Force SRM. Green capitalism will take a form of solar radiation management that culminates in rapid climate change. All 18 capitalism affinity SRM supported by policymakers. The vast effect on temperatures and technology advances that cause negative effects without addressing the root cause and at least permits the system to continue without reforms. And SAI undermine mitigation. No route to return. The trade-off is likely to grow into economies. There's obligation. The SAI cause rapid climate change. And the green capitalism requires a technological shift. The SAI undermine the diffusion of low carbon technologies and skepticism shift. The SAI in the U.S. has no blueprint for transition of force SRM independently extinction from nuclear war, ozone loss of food chain collapse. Hamilton 19. The weather is created into a war field by battle over our planet's system of the SRM, making it consistent impossible to add. Sulfates can be lethal for the ozone and monsoon, disrupt the affecting food for millions, and rid of which global warming has a greater threat than solar should influence the world by creating tension and a flood caused by someone manipulating the water. Humans are looking for someone to blame the global cooling to prevent India, Pakistan monsoons and a thin nuclear issue being conflict. And the cap turns AI because profit-oriented maximization is an existential risk. China 15 capitalist force developing AI can lead uncontrollable military technologies.
dangerous AI is developing no moral reasoning, and the capitalist force will drive the instead of produce ruthless AI maximization, AI regulation, replaces dominant speech on other threat posed by AI greater than nuclear weapons, and capitalism is unsustainable. Let's try or die for the alternative. One is rate of profit. The capitalism drives recurring economic crises, and the rate of profit falls. Post 23, capitalism increases and exploitation measure of race output, keeping the wages stagnant. Another factor is globalization and labor-intensive production move out of the global south, expansion of not permanent production leads to declining rates of profit, and which is yet to emerge in the lower market by lower profits, overcapacity, and the longer, deeper recession, financial meltdown, so dangerous to the balance, so far preventing collapse and preventing collapse allows survival, zombie capital, prolonging the crisis policy, fuel inflation, and COVID and stagflation. 2 is financialization and insurance crisis. Core 24, financialization and consequence failure, capital's failure to succeed out in the growth exacerbate the problem over accumulation, failed to stimulate growth in the crisis, occurred to prolong recession, bailouts followed by the number of giant firms holding undue weight, stability, global system condition, emerge possibility of the growth and cannot long-term run. And 3 is energy and innovation is insufficient. Jeffrey 24, or seemingly infinite access to energy, even more time to produce more and more continuing indefinitely. However, we can drain surplus energy and affect the natural process can replenish and contingent on instruction models to submit negative impacts of true financial costs increase burden on healthcare, water restoration, probably not factored in. 4 is the environment. Capitalism is fundamentally at odds with environmental system. Actually, I already read the environment impact above. AI cannot sustain growth best. In most recent studies on Meta and all 24, the theory predicts that growth will stagnate and come due to negative growth in population. AI affects idea production and function, the secret sauce and economic growth idea, population growth, drive, economic growth, innovation growth, can stagnate either population or need decline, product proliferation effects on step on toes effect. Well, there result in declining R&D productivity. AI are worse than the stepping on toes. Another 3 models will collaborate about the data from the USA to generate several simulation. The AI will not be sufficient to accelerate the growth of idea production indefinitely, and exposure growth to the AI might be in the very short run framework counterinterpretation. They get the way the applicants and links to philosophical investments in capitalism and they'll solve an alternative. We meet their interp. One is responsibility. They chose the ass ideological leading. They should be able to defend them and also letting them weigh the assholes their offense. And 2 structural analysis. The model trains to better never question geopolitical, political, economic structure because you can never have a true cap, good or bad debate or hedge good bad because everyone is the impact or a subset of the broader system that are inevitable absent the alternative that forecloses the ability to develop creative solutions to global problems. 3 is momentum or interp is key to otherwise unnoticeable instances of capitalism. Kaufman 23. Capitalism is a highly integrated system give rise that might be able to be smashed and more helpful to the fabric and be rewoven piece by piece. We can push back variety with the point is whether pathways to better world getting a world enough and we require the ways the ways of pro-capitalism thinking woven deeply into our world requires the challenge of policies hold up on a newer structure. 4 is Netflix is a large topic, no unifying generics. They cannot plan sex shift out of the ground, make 2AC stable critical. I'm not gonna read that next card.
They didn't have an interp.
Yeah, they also just said weigh the AF we meet because we let them weigh the AF. I'll get to why they can't get a perm. Answer to offense, they get to weigh the AF, that means we meet. Do both. No perm, the app is incompatible with the alternative. 1 is mutually exclusive. You cannot advocate for capitalism while simultaneously attempting to destroy it. 2 is framework. If we win that major philosophical commitment is tied to the affirmative, then severing that is illegitimate. 3 is division. IP Chris activist advised Andrew 19. And inequality of the cost talks to the long-term survival and endemic solidarity requires dismantling of property movement as clearly possible. IP tool for dividing labor and class undermining solidarity. Legitimate demands by the workers behind that can never unite like before we truly have little to lose when our chains, forwards, links, or disads. Each one lowers the perm solvency. I'll get to those after the permutation. 5 is the K terms. Case that all solvers know that benefit only risk of the link. Answer to double bind. No double bind. 1 is material. Answers about pre-decides and exclusivity. 2 is ideologically it's incoherent for the fiat all to overcome their explicit endorsement of capitalist logic, which are legitimate grounds for contestation. 3 is severance. They must defend the implementation of the affirmative. The alternative undoes the act of severance permanency. It's an entire point of durable fiat. The act must prove that the plan should be done indefinitely. That's key to ground sustain links to econ and trade up distance. Otherwise, you vote negative presumption because the app will get rolled back. 4 is opportunity cost logic is bad as inherently capitalist logic of value and competition on links. They conceded the link in the 2AC. You shouldn't let them give it a new answer. 2 the app upholds capitalism. 1 is property. Intellectual property is fundamentally premised on the basis that owners should have the right to profit that should be protected by the government and further government sponsorship of accumulation of capital. 2 is knowledge. The IP allows for private governance and privatization of information which is exported internationally, created market control of goods in a capitalist exchange, facilitating investment in critical capitalist engine of wealth accumulation. That's the Turcotte evidence. 3 is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Reject any illusion of any link to or perm that they try to bring up because the app causes further capitalist accumulation and as a linear distance to the affirmative means that the app solvency is 0. 4 is copyright is innately capitalist software. 2 copyright is for early capitalism important of the system of good ever since opposed copyright is opposed capitalism. Marxism and that's just trying to put challenging copyright and Marxism lens like the collective learning process surpasses physical labor, productive force, humanity. 5 is AI innovation is the holy grail of capitalist accumulation. Record 22 the AI is the holy grail of capitalist accumulation, control AI, potential harm for racialized one not binary people, platform workers, and refugees. AI industry contributing to systemic inequalities and framework provide near technological fiction or just ethics watching and generates capital colonialism, patriarchy, assertive imposition of uniforms and forms of being and a social rationalism and individualism and coloniality and unnecessary AI reproduces dispossession through data extractivism, epistemic violence, and impoverishment as a result of capitalist colonialist patriarchal system. AI production is disassociated from the effects on racialized bodies and terrorists they inhabit. Martha Card didn't inhabit. I'm gonna go to
Do you Kondo?
no. Okay, I'm gonna answer epistemic field.
They say utopian fiat, but when it's arbitrary, no brown line means it's impossible to mean indefinite, and the definition shrinks to exclude all neg fiat plus non-resolutionary fiat allows the app to proliferate. Violations marginally better for debility. Steamroll the neg 2 is reciprocal. The plan is also utopian. The state is constantly certain that they want to not copyright. That's the entire point of inherency. 3 is negative ground. The interpretation limits all kind of they can be considered utopian. The all is less utopian. Rings at all 22. The Rebuttal shows the public understanding. G20 countries 74% supporting economic priorities beyond the property, well-being, and ecological protection. And the rest of will transition overcome the scale of decades. Transition and hospital no reversal of the scales of millennial often the opposite. Silent systemic transformation. And 5, their theory are perniciously reinforces the ideologies that indoctrinate us into adapting elitist and nationalist value. Paper 18, pulsing implies the elite group that gets to impose everybody else a little imagination. We're going to do everything about X, but when we have a short part of 3%, we actually do affect the policymakers that we make believe identifying the rules of what is being ruled. Mark the card it ruled on the all.
Oh, concede non-res theory on aspec.
Concede non-res theory on aspec takes out utopian fiat. All. Vote negative for a class-based movement towards socialism. Revolution requires a logic against capitalism that is a framework for organizing. The alternative expands the size and scope of the existing anti-capitalist movements, resulting in overturning the current system that unlocks socialist technology geared towards the social need and long-term sustainability. That's the foster evidence Saul's case because the economic incentive is no longer necessarily capable to innovate a resource. Human possess an intrinsic motivation for discovery, driving the creation of Wikipedia, polio vaccine, etc. They say transition wars, but they also have to imagine a world in which the U.S. socialists embrace transition wars. The capitalism makes instability and unrest inevitable because the transition gets the public on board. Cesarchy 20. The trust in institution of capitalism is saying in a performance 2020 a study found that 56% of the global population of capitalism does more harm than good. Results rely on the conventional wisdom. GDP correlation to trust from results from belief. Prosperity is not fairly distributed when the narrative about social and focus on young people who find little difference in group and not belief is universal. Okay, Henry, just read the movement card in the 1 and R. I'm good for cross. It's only one card.
You ready?
I'm ready, Jimmy.
Let's start with framework. Twin C number 2 was structural analysis of good ideas. Do you think world peace is a good idea?
Oh, you said framework?
Yeah. Framework, okay. Twin C number 2 was structural analysis. Do you think world peace is a good idea?
Wait, 2 and C2 on...
Framework. 2 and C2 on framework.
You're talking about knowledge?
Yeah, no. Your second argument is that we preclude analysis of structures. Is thinking about world peace a good analysis of structures?
We don't think the alt advocates for world peace. We think it's a better alternative than the AF because we think capitalism is bad.
Let's talk about the alt, actually. What do you fiat that any worker or organization changes their mindsets?
We think that minimally, yes. But we think that there are latent movements in the
organizations?
Like current socialist organizations?
All socialist organizations in the United States.
Not all of them. Obviously, the Foster evidence says that some of them already have latent movement against capitalism in the status quo, which means that the alt would not have to fiat their mindset shift because they're already against capitalism.
Does the alt entail policy changes? Like,
what do you mean by policy changes?
Is it an armed attack on the U.S. government, or does it seek to pass bills that reform the economy?
We don't think passing bills that reform the economy would resolve capitalism.
So, okay, USFG.
The economy is terminally unsustainable as is, and we don't think that policy action,
what
i.e.
does
the affirmative,
USFG look like post-alt?
Like a socialist or like government?
So every senator, president, all replaced with communists?
Or they become socialists?
Okay.
Whatever you want, Jimmy.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. The AI innovation link, is it just that more AI innovation is linearly bad?
No, it's that the mindset of capitalism through AI innovation makes AI dangerous. It's not that AI innovation in itself.
How do you determine what is a mindset of the plan? Because the 1AC had zero
Profit
mention
motivation.
of AI innovation.
I'm sorry? The one is what?
The 1AC had zero mention of AI innovation.
That's not true.
What is? Okay.
That is not true. The 1AC made a claim about AI innovation and how it's unsustainable now, but the plan fixes that by incentivizing or creating.
Yeah. Let's get back to the question. What is the mindset of the 1AC?
The mindset?
Yeah.
We think that the mindset of the 1AC is profit motive and under a capitalist system, which is bad. You didn't contest the link in the 2AC, Jimmy. I don't know why you're asking this.
Okay, that's fine, even though you wrote like 4 negative things in the block, but okay, that's fine.
Yeah, you can answer those, but you still drop Foster and the other card.
Okay, that's fine. Oh, yeah. Let's go to permutation. What's the standard for competition?
What do you mean?
Like, is it just one link, no perm?
We said if we win that a major philosophical commitment of capitalism is tied to the affirmative, you shouldn't get the perm.
What is a major philosophical commitment?
I.e., you believe in capitalism, you like capitalism.
Okay, we believe in capitalism, we as
i.e., the AF is implemented under a capitalist system and does nothing to change that. Because capitalism is terminally unsustainable and bad impacts, blah, blah, blah.
That's fine.
Wait. Can you take a second for that?
What?
Do you want me to answer for that?
Yes, bro.
Fuck me. Okay.
Here, I have it right here. Just stop prep. I have it.
6:59. Let me sound the 1 an hour.
We'll talk about it. Yeah. What I said. 1 hour sent, presumably?
Presumably, Jimmy. Yeah.
He's sending the one.
On Cap K, coordinates 36 halls like disrupt global supply chains that key to capitalism, blogs 21 logistics workers make global capitalism, they break it 2 logistics industries, key to global circulation, get on this capitalism workers of immense power within the ground company circulation hall, gets organized logistics that become more centered in global capitalism, they give the workers and logistics sectors a tremendous potential leverage of the capitalist class. Okay, on countdown. We did one flexible countless key increasing protection IPs and require multifaceted testing to logic counters bad unpredictable non-logical rule that denies the negative the status quo 3 innovation 4 backside and currency logs 4 inverted processing 1 C 4 2 efficiency 1 diminishing utility add more accuracy speed and value 2 screen level T test speed highlighting reject this spell 1 social consensus there is no 2 force perms 3 case self flights 2 test logs for research inevitable on the event handling. I'm just going forward the 5th plane. The economy solves the whole segment of energy that avoids the impact term frames. 1 sufficiently unquantifiable deficits are outweighed by the afterwards and that benefit. 2 church kick. If you lose the permanent links to that benefit, permanent both permanent links to democracy bad. And the permanent gun plane and severance out of IPR that guts that grind to make out of all this has links and running counterbalance on competitive. The permanent issues links to that benefit. Where I'm going for 1 plane permanent all the issues is actually intrinsic. On the links to the benefit, cross-sex was definitely correct that the only term of democracy journalism the plane doesn't do this. The wrong says that we did have an external sector check. AI ensures quality feedback solves model collapse. There's no actual warranted card that answers this. So vote on this. There's no actual something this. And on the theory argument, we have something advocates for every point. So there's no theory argument. On journalism. Democracy causes war, not peace. One stats when robust studies show democracy increases conflict. Countries are more likely to attack than autocrats. The appearance of democracy provides peace that doesn't control for observed and indigenous variables. The fifth equation that Shiba, my evidence that's talking about there's a 47 times more correlative effect does not support indigenous variables. That proves that it's not correlated, but it's a peace that causes a peace, not just democracy. This is true for all scenarios, including other democracies. When we have evidence referring to other countries broadly. Shiba 21, the university model that endures indigeneity replaces democratic peace. Only one we connect Howard's knows so long as support completion of conviction no longer problems democracy now impedes calling against American target efficiency significant, but the correct for indigeneity makes a significant difference. A failure to check that generates an admitted variable that looks like if democracy is pacifying conflict. 2 public pressure for Alaska 18, democratic nations stronger and incentive to start and exacerbate conflict because of the pressure of voters about not back down aggressively out of targets instable. No one can back down from a conflict without facing personal questions and elect many because approval or they lose millions. 3 mobile mongering Korea 22 Democrat has the force of the army they need the military needs of the state about decreasing citizenship held low. I mean nice assessment of the cause of the war of at least established a his name feeling that perceive the voices of the people DPT acknowledges actors such as military and industrial complex likely to have a stake and the equity potential of furthering their own interests. They say there's the correlation between the 5 time and smoking. This is not true. This is they have not accounted for indigenous effects, which is what proves that by other countries not returning to democracy such as Iran and Syria all have gone towards democratization and have had more state instability. They say it appears to know this flip negative. Countries like America have much more war than countries like Russia and North Korea. They say there's backlash. No, democracies are more likely to have backlash because of public pressure and militant advent groups which control the people in the Congress and Senate because of democracy. They say that democracy solves civil war and terror. The warmongering turns out as a Korea 22 evidence says democracies have armed forces which carry militant needs of states, which means it's an increase of censorship, which means it turns the democracy turn. The defense. Pieces of correlative not driven by the governance. I answer the DBT above. Studies that control for indigenous variables, so null positive effect, just the illusion of DBT. That's the cheap evidence. This one job. Empiric proves democracies can't prevent war. Iran, Afghanistan, Libya, and Syria all show democracy led to more state instability at Skiditsky and the U.S. has fueled nuclear expansion, even though it's democratic and exported anti-democratic norms globally. Democratization undermines some Western societies. DBT grossly underestimates the cost spreading democracy to other parts of the world. That's the skill. Yeah, I did the defense also above on Tuesday. No truth decay impact. AI won't cause misinformation. All they say is that the app makes it more certain, but there's trade-offs. AI companies choose not to increase the reliability of misinformation because they want to make it more accessible and appealing. They have no reason why they would solve truth decay because there will be misinformation absent. The app of misinformation will be rendered invisible because people consume content from mainstream sources. They have no reasons why these are backed by AI and it's backwards, and that increases the quality of reliable news sources. Even for packaged journalism, misinformation appeals would have to be 100 times larger to everyone that society evidence which wins it dropped on model collapse. One, no model clause, one, original training sets will anchor model sets to Claiborne evidence reject as studies that assume AI generated text and replace data that no that I guess supplemented, Gersman read all 24. And model clause studies, assuming new data replace old data when more realistic assumptions data, accumulation time, accumulation studies generated alongside the original data voids, model collapse, and the data instead of accumulated tester has been found better, meaning the model collapse no longer occurs, the data poisoning, all that was said is that there is AI hallucinations and it's pressure to longer news, but AI solves data prevents miscalculation by increasing our ability to differentiate between our real world information and humans in the loop, and it prevents uncertain information from causing strikes. This turns the AI governance, or this solves the AI governance scenario. There's no actual solvency for it. AI solves.
It is good.
Top level for journalism that they haven't answered any other impacts of the Belfield impact articulates solve the democratic cooperation solves pandemics, climate change, and every other existential risk from emerging tech AI. So any defense that we win on the turn means that outweighs and democratic cooperation solves all the other existential risks. I'll do more of the democratic cooperation on the cap K, but on the line by line they've dropped that there's no trade-off. There's no trade-off or alternative to democracy. So the turn is irrelevant. The IMA card is very good in this question. It's not correlative. But it makes a correlation between war and democracies, i.e., there's been no global wars with strong democracies. There might have been regional conflicts, but they haven't escalated, driven by strong democratic collapse. Their empirics and their endorsed by evidence don't account for the new rise of AI, which we think is uniquely collapsing AI, but only the plan can solve now. The impact cards, they're all not in the context of U.S. global-led order, which we think global cooperation is just about one singular country causing escalation. But we think if every country is key to spread all global cooperation globally, which trades off, which means that definitely solves the trade net benefit, the truth decay. We're not going for it. Model collapse. Kick it. We're not going for that advantage. The advantage counterpoint. The advantage counterpoint definitely doesn't solve case, but the key internal link is about journalism. So it definitely doesn't solve because the counterpoint is merely about implementing agencies, which we don't think is critical to solve. But even if they do, it probably links to that benefit because it would enhance democracy. Okay. Top level is all the sustainability debate depends on a short-term impact solved by democracy. So democracy solves all the impacts in the terminals, which the negative is going to go for. The first impact is about the first impact is about warming, but they dropped the Belfield evidence, so it says that the democratic cooperation solves existentially. Second is militarism, but only the app can solve. The third is the AI card. It doesn't, but only if the app is predictive about human content being critical to solve AI. 4 is the SMR. It's also green tech, which the app solves. The last card is just a broad claim about capitalism, not conducive or reason why the affirmative bad, but democracy solves the terminals, and a short-term impact by democracy solves the long-term impact because there's no brink. The unsustainability debate, it doesn't matter if we win the perm. Now the framework debate. Way the applicants links to the plan's view to implication, competitive opportunity cost. Their interpretation mutes the affirmative and mutes the competitive debate and the negative will turn defensive arguments to offensive arguments. But fairness outweighs. You have no defense to this. It's intrinsically good to the game boast. Besides, despite debate to value the debate fairly. 2 turns research. No, instead of learning unfair game. 3, no offensive negative. Willing like that outweighs the app's benefits. Only our offensive out can't revolution debate. Also, there's no reasons why your neg ballot would spill over. And that's all capitalism. The framework this adds the first one. The first one's in the context of epistemology, so their interpretation obviously mutes that, so only evaluating the consequence of the plan can be most accurate. I mean, so they can impact turn the fairness. The third card is about the first card is mutually exclusive. It's not what the plan is in the context of. You should evaluate the consequences of the plans. The second is the third card is about spillover in debate, but it obviously doesn't solve just because debating about capitalism doesn't mean debating about the intrinsic links to the plan doesn't mean that it spills over globally or has any impact. Now the perm.
Oh wait, on neg flex they drop Afghan on T.
Oh always. Yeah. Functional limits they dropped all of them. Afghan outweighs the perm debate. It's only a question of firm double bind that solves all of the negatives offense, because the links are not to the implementation of the plan. It's the negative burden to prove that the app stops a capitalist revolution where they have not proven. It's not. All of them are about the big policy options, but double bind either they can overwhelm the links of the plan, or the all solves because it's even with the plan, because it's just a fiated revolution. So it definitely solves the first argument is that it's mutually exclusive. It's not mutually exclusive because the links do not prove that the plan is bad. The epistemology stuff, I did that on Framework. It doesn't. The links are dissed, but all the links are non-unique and don't prove that the app would overcome a capitalist revolution. They haven't proven that. Third is the Turns case argument. The third is the case Turns argument, but also not
Proximate causes outweigh. Right?
Proximate causes outweigh the affirmative. This solves any risk of the sustainability debate. Now they answer the wrong fiat argument. It's the epistemic fiat fiating and mindset shift is uniquely worse. It's not a question of utopian, but changing the minds of every single person. Prove my cross-sex and it's bad for Af ground, and prove my cross-sex. They weren't able to explain what the plan actually does or who it affects. So you should default affirmative on this question. At worst, it's offense on Framework.
How much do we have, Henry?
Ready.
At the top, you're voting negative in this debate because it drops sustainability multiple impacts that outweigh the affirmative while simultaneously dropping the link for the second speech in a row. There is no winning to AR. First, I'll extend the links that went dropped. There were 3 from the Turcotte card. First is property. They dropped that the app is fundamentally premised on the idea that owners have the right to profit and should be protected by a capitalist government for the accumulation of capital. Expansion of IP in itself invests in the capitalist system that it was created for it in the first place. 2 is knowledge, because IP creates the ability for private governance and propertization of one's goods that can be exported internationally, control market goods around the world. They dropped the self-fulfilling prophecy that this is an independent takeout to the firm because the app in the long term accelerates the unsustainability of capitalism. No world that the app exists in is a good world. That was proven when the only framework and truth that they read was way the app. No justification for the perm, but the entire 2 and C was a reason why their epistemological underpinnings were bad, so they shouldn't get one. All of these are to the plan, which means that it meets their framework interpretation, which means that there is zero reason for affirm. But they also dropped 2 other links that prove the app is entrenched in the logic of capitalism. They dropped that the link alone turns the case because it means that they directly cause all of our impacts and can't solve for theirs. The Sawbird card says that copyright law was made for capitalism in the beginning of its creation, and that opposing copyright is the same thing as equivalent as opposing capitalism. This is the link to the plan because IPR includes copyright. This was completely uncontested, which means all I have to win is unsustainability, which their only answer was that democracy solves unsustainability, but I'll get that to that in a second. First, though, to the perm. Top level, the perm is 0. They dropped argument number 2 in the 2 and C. Framework frames the perm. They said weigh the links against the plan, which is exactly what we did. They said that they'll only evaluate the consequences of the plan, but they dropped every link to why AI development and IPR expansion is bad and inherently capitalist, which means that not only do we meet their framework, but they also sever the reps if they go for the perm, which they dropped as illegitimate and should be rejected. Every dropped link is a reason why the app would stop the revolution. Dropped impacts or arguments are true arguments. They also dropped the Andrews card, which says that movements require the dismantling of the culture of property. Quote, IP divides laboring classes, which undermines the movement. Obviously, the plan would stop a movement because they conceded the Andrews card. The workers of the world can never be united if we before we let loose our change. There's a quote from the card, which means that because they dropped that, the perm is completely unviable, because if we do the plan, that means that the movement fails, which means that the all obviously can't overcome the links, because if we do the plan within the perm, that means the all can't solve. They also dropped they said that links don't prove that the app is bad, but we proved that the app worsens AI through the capitalist-driven logic and expansion of IP. They conceded S risk. I'll get to that in a minute. They also said that proximity risks outweigh, but they dropped our impacts and just said democracy solves them. I'm going to get theory out of the way now. All they answered was net ground, or they just said half ground. It was like literally 10 seconds in the 2AR. They can see that's arbitrary and drop that non-risk theory is bad, and which we cross apply from A-spec, which you on face you should reject epistemic fiat, and there's no reciprocality. They drop that it's arbitrary and no bright line, which means it's impossible to me, and definition strings to include neg fiat. They'll always make a marginally more debatable interpretation that will deck the negative. They also drop that it's reciprocal and that the app is just as utopian, which means it links just as hard to them. If you want to reject us, you have to reject them. They didn't respond to that. They also dropped that the alt is less utopian. The Smith's card says that there's already latent movement in the status quo for a revolution against capitalism, which means that it's obviously more or less utopian than the affirmative because there's no movement for licensing of copyright. Okay, I'm gonna go to the sustainability stuff. Firstly, they dropped the rate of profit, which is the post-23 card, which says that committing to capitalism would cause people to only pursue profit and accumulation, which in the long term causes long and deeper recessions, which means that capitalism in the long term is terminally unsustainable. They also dropped financialization, which means that big companies want to expand their influence over the economy, which means that if they increase their financializations, when recessions do occur, they will be prolonged and lead to bailouts. It says that the only thing that have kept keeping us out of recession is bailouts, but that it turns into into a zombie economy, which is the only thing that is holding us from long and deep recessions is bailouts. But the app it makes it terminally unsustainable because it expands capitalism, which means that financialization overwhelmingly collapses the economy. They conceded energy, which means that energy is running out now in the status quo. That was the Jeffrey 24 card, and the app just creates more of that use of that energy, which means it's terminally unsustainable. They also dropped the actually, I'm going to go to the impacts now. All they said was that democracy solves this, but it clearly can't, because not only does the alt solve the affirmative, because it does a revolution that solves all the links to the affirmative, but secondly, they dropped all of our impacts, which definitely turned case. That first of all, I'm going to explain the root cause. They dropped that profit-oriented AI is the root cause of all existential risks. It says that that's the Shino card. It says that specifically capitalist forces developing AI would lead to uncontrollable military technologies, which would create dominant, which means they would become the only dominant species on the earth. And they also dropped that that's an S risk, which outweighs any existential risk, which means even if you think democracy has some risk of solving our impacts, it definitely can't solve S risk, because they dropped the root cause of their impacts is certainly capitalist AI, which means that they develop nuclear weapons, and which tortures us for eternity. That outweighs everything. They also dropped that all of our impacts turn theirs, warming, militarism, and AI all turn democracy, because you can't have a functioning democracy if AI is causing suffering on a large scale, and warming is causing diplomacy to be completely crushed, and militarism is causing infinite wars. Democracy inevitably fails, and they can't. It definitely can't solve our impacts, because they drop the alt, they drop the links, which means the app is inextricably tied to capitalism.
How much we have? 247.
Primary for the only thing that matters to you about capitalist Kenny, when the label is moving sustainability, but it's now contested over fast Russia-China war as a result of the democratic collapse, coming out and causes extinction and peace, global cooperation, IRA, existence of slavery, climate change, pandemics, energy transition, everything that capitalism can be caused can only be solved by short-term democratic cooperation. Dropping gates means that there's 100% risk that we solve, and that certainly outweighs the development of the United States democracy, resolves global conflict and authoritarianism, will perpetuate human rights abuses, and make resolving any existential risk impossible. Two framing issues: one, drop time frame and proximate causes in the one-year area, which Sicily, since that democracy is coming fast, and that outweighs any of their impacts on time frame. If you can now resolve the proximate causes, the democratic collapse now, then you are sure that the yoke cannot work, and that is a fast and high benefit term. And second is that you can only die once. If you die now and authoritarians torture you to death, then obviously at least a long-term message, and you do not know when it will happen, and you do not know when the sustainability and capitalist class is Kenny has not explained that properly, and the two are they have not contested the Russia-China invasion, or that democracies foster peace. Now the democracy solving war that was also dropped checks global conflict, checks internationalization, climate change, pandemics, which are all of the warrants of sustainability, which is that you are sure that the app resolves a short-term impact, whereas the all can't. Okay. I know that 2NR is largely willing sustainability, but you should vote on the permutation that one, because the 2NR has largely mishandled framework. They mishandled Anno's 1AR pivot to new, that K must have unique links to the plan. I know the 2AC shifting to the 1AR is abusive, but Kenny has not contested that, especially when there's a high risk of the of our framework offense. Now the top level links all get out of here. Now the link proper. None of the links are a reason that the revolution will fail, nor that the plan collapses the revolution. Simply, the plan might devise some movements of the fast risk of democracy certainly outweighs that. This sustainability doesn't matter. It's just a drop case, and proves that the plan is good, top document innovation. Now, IP being a consequence plan doesn't matter, because the old is so strong that it probably outweighs, and fast risk democracy now comes sure as the framework. Very properly, they have conceded the fairness and that the road that Kenny creates for debate is that every 2N will read 13 minutes of cap ad in the blog and auto win, because every IP policy is somewhat capitalist. We have capitalist mindsets. The only file that every 2N needs to prep every year is DDEP, which is a terrible model of debate, because every app will link to the economic growth effortlessly somehow. First, they have conceded that uniquely linked questions are the only way to evaluate the plan, which means that epistemology stuff doesn't matter. They do not get links to our reps. That was specific in the 1AR drop, means that none of our capitalist mindset stuff, they should only get links to the plan. If you cannot write me a coherent sentence in the RFP on which legitimate AI increases capitalist stability, then it doesn't matter, because Kenny is all describing non-unique systems of the status quo. And second is that permutation certainly overwhelms. Kenny said that the overwhelms every single link to the plan on his alt explanation, which proves that it certainly overcomes the link, so it doesn't matter. That also takes out any of the rep link, because you do IVR is not a proper link. Now they epistemic fiat argument. I'm not going for this as a reason to reject the dean, but it's also a reason that their framework is bad. They could just say, oh, we sprinkle some mindsets, change the capitalist, anti-capitalist movement, we feel the DSA do some nice things. Oh no, USFG, not capitalist anymore. That's obviously unfair, because that's confirmed in 2NC cross-sected, just like things like rogue keys, where the neg is like, oh, this is a good idea, capitalism is bad, we debate about cap gal, let's just throw 13 minutes of cap ad with zero after recourse. That makes debate functionally impossible. They outweighs this game. Kenny went for Trump argument. They expect you to flow. You're a judge equally, which outweighs any one of their impacts. They have not made any education impact in the 2NR, so you do not hack it for them. We're decisively winning this framework pivot. Look, I know this 1AR stuff sounds new, but it was uncontested. Drop 1AR framework shift. Zero any links that are not unique to the plan. Any links that are unique to the plan. One, democracy outweighs. Second, overcomes it. Perm debate proper. Framework doesn't filter it. We have said that framework is that the negative has a unique link to the consequences, fiat and consequences plan. So it doesn't matter. The Andrews card is terrible. It's talking about AI systems. It's talking about IT systems and a such role. And obviously, if workers have enough power, then they should obviously be able to overwhelm one AI policy. If they can't overcome one copyright policy, then the all certainly doesn't solve. And you should vote half on presumption. They say that movements will be overcoming capitalism. This is not an explanation for why the yacht community overcomes it. Doesn't matter. Sustainability. Democracy certainly filters it. They have conceded the democracy impact on queso. It certainly outweighs all of their warrants stuff like energy and financialization. They are solved by democratic cooperation because the reason that the economy is unstable in the first is that, and that things like pandemics and other crises will occur is because democracies aren't publicly cooperating. They shot the thesis on case and extension in the 1 year. So then obviously it doesn't matter. The root cause stuff, they dropped that you should prefer proximate causes. You know that the plan boosts bolsters journalism, which prevents a short-term network class. You have no idea how communist movements can intervene. They only said that they solved the root cause, but that does not matter because proximate causes come first. Anything else infinitely regressive. Solving capitalism might take a long time, or it might take a short time, but you know. And the plan would immediately resolve the S stuff. The explanation that 2 and R is largely new, but one, life is probably a prerequisite if you want to live. That outweighs the S. Second, authoritarian torturous word Belfast is that authoritarians cause bad AI, so we access GM because bad AI is caused by authoritarianism. The root cause stuff doesn't matter. Half proxies causes that way, especially when they drop the journalism impact case. High risk of framework, drop you code in 1 AR. Anyways, to the perm solve things, short term proxy hours.
Good debate.